Well, hello, Mike. Hello, Caroline. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing your experience. And can I just ask you to cast your minds back when this room, this extension was just a concept, an idea. Why did you do it?
So we bought quite a large 1920s property that hadn't been touched for probably a couple of decades. And as we were looking at the space, we lived in it for a year before we decided to do any kind of work on the house. And it was really important that we understood the space, understood how we wanted to use it, how we accessed the garden, what the light did through the house, and everything like that. So we worked with an architect for quite some time to come up with the best use of this space, which involved knocking down a few internal walls. We did a small rear extension of the property, and the aim was to bring as much light in as possible and give us access to the garden, and in quite a tricky way combine the 1920s architecture, which we love, this big high ceilings and features, and combine it with a contemporary twist. So what we've effectively come up with is a space that we can enjoy with the kids, that we've strategically tiled everything so that we don't have to worry about them bringing mud into the house or anything. And yeah, whenever we have friends round, it's a really good space for entertaining. We've got a big island in the kitchen that then we have doors onto the garden so that we can enjoy the space that we've got.
Oh, it sounds fantastic. It sounds like a real thriving room with the children and friends coming over. A big sort of kitchen diner space. And so when did all this happen? And once you'd finished it, were you happy with the result? Or what led you to go down the route of choosing some blinds?
So we finished it a couple of years ago, but we hadn't considered putting blinds in at that point. Then after living in it for a while, and certainly through the summer, we realized the amount of glass that we've got in brings in a lot of heat and a lot of light, particularly in the morning. So the kitchen faces east, so it gets all of the morning sun. And obviously if it comes up at 4:30 in the morning, it has a couple of hours to heat up before you even come in the room. So we started thinking about how we could add some blinds in just to reduce the glare, reduce the heat. And as we sort of said, we've always wanted to maximize light within the room. So we didn't want to have sort of walls or any curtains or anything like that would kind of then impinge on the doors. And especially because we can slide them wide open, we didn't want to then have any curtains hanging down or vertical blinds or anything like that. So roller blinds were really kind of the only option for us in order to kind of hide them away, make sure that it didn't affect us being able to get out into the garden, and the option of having them remotely operated because there's 4 window panes or three large panes of glass on one side return. We kind of didn't want to handle that manually. So looking at electric roller blinds was kind of the only option that we really wanted to go with. And it was a retrofit, so we didn't think about it when we put the doors in, but we really wanted to make it look like it wasn't an afterthought. So we wanted to make sure we kind of conceal the blinds as much as possible. So we just started doing some research, seeing what was out there.
Yes, and I presume that's when you found Window Treat.
Yes. Yep.
So you had an experience with Chris, which would have been probably a Teams call, I imagine, sort of a video call, where he'd have understood your requirements and would have shown you some options. And what drew you to those options?
So he was really good at understanding what the issues were and the kind of pain points that we were having with the light and the heat. So he asked us lots of questions about what the issues were and kind of then presented us with different options that would fix those problems. So we wanted to make sure that we could still see through the blinds and not feel like we had shut the garden out completely in the morning, because it's nice to kind of have that connection with the outside space. So he kind of listened to that and provided options that would provide that level of opacity, but also to stop the heat from coming in, but not stop all of the light coming in.
Yes, a bit of an art form, science to this, and Chris has been immersed in looking at performance fabrics that not just provide privacy, but actually do the job of getting the heat back through a modern double glazed unit as well. So I love
Yeah.
that you were thinking of the sort of screen fabrics, so you get that view through even when they're drawn.
Yeah, and then he sent us through a few samples. We obviously talked about colors as well. So he sent these samples through in the post, and then we could just take our time to leave them kind of up against the window for a couple of days and through the different times of the day to kind of see how it affected the light. And then we just let him know which one was our preferred option, and then he helped us from there.
Fantastic. And did you approach any other companies?
We did, yeah. So I found you through a Google search because I knew what I wanted. So concealed electric roller blinds, for example. A couple of other companies did come up. They weren't as proactive as Chris was in kind of helping us. And as soon as we got on the call with Chris, it just kind of, you guys stood out as experts, knowledgeable, and your quote was really competitive. So we kind of trusted you to go with it, go and do the job that we need.
Thank you. Thank you for that feat. I'm sure Chris will be delighted. The blinds, I can see them up there behind you, and they do look lovely, very neatly concealed away and quite minimalist, in fact.
Yeah, Mike quite likes his design, so he was quite had quite ideas of what needed to happen into how it should be concealed, because we've got a return on the wall as well, and so we made sure that Chris understood all of those elements, and he helped us measure things to make sure that the option would work even before the guys came out to properly measure. So Chris talked us through all of that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the standout thing was that Chris, it was very easy to trust that he would deliver. And so there's quite a lot of jobs around here that I'll just do because I know exactly what I want. And I'm no tradesperson, but I know that I can get exactly what I want by doing it myself. And this was one of those jobs that I knew that wouldn't be the case at all. And so actually having someone that we could explain, exactly what we're expecting when this thing is up and what we want it to look like. And I think to Caroline's point earlier, we just didn't want it to look like an afterthought, even though it was absolutely an afterthought. It was really important that, through all the work that we did to create this contemporary minimalist space, we didn't want to have just bolt-on blinds that looked like we hadn't really considered them in the space. Really trusted that actually of all the companies that we spoke to, Window Treat did seem to not only have the product, but had all the answers to the quite tricky questions that we were asking. So, we were quite happy to go ahead with it.
Yes, and you've been living with the blinds through a heat wave as well, which is fantastic. So,
yeah.
So have they delivered the heat gain reductions in those early hours before, as the children get up and you start using this beautiful space?
Yeah, definitely. As soon as you open the door, it makes so much difference. But what we've done is actually we've got 4 blinds here that we can control separately. And when we do come down, it is then nice to get the doors open if it is a nice sunny day. So actually we can raise 1 blind up, open the door, and still be able to go outside and have breakfast, but keep the other blinds down. But yeah, it was an instant benefit kind of from day one. And the other beauty of it is we've got the Tahoma switch on there as well. So we've got the connection to my app on my phone. So we've set timings on it to know that it will come down at a certain time and go up, which is great when we're on holiday. I could log in and actually see, the window blinds are down, which also helps with security for, people knowing whether you're in or not, because, blinds are being shut even if you're away.
Yeah, you've really thought this through well, because I call that implied occupancy, making it look like you're in when you're out, so people don't won't even try to, to have a attempt at forced entry. And you can do so much clever stuff with the Tahoma switch. So how have you found the Tahoma switch and using the app?
It took me a little while to get it set up, mainly because I'm a bit time poor. So you have to sort of invest the time to kind of make sure it's connected up. And once it's on the Wi-Fi, that was our hardest bit to do. But once it was on, I haven't really touched it since then. As the time when we switch to a time change, or the sun comes up later, for example, it's quite easy just to change the timings on it. But yeah, we don't really touch it. So it's great.
Well, that's the beauty, isn't it? That's truly hands-free. It's automated to another level,
Yeah.
which is good. So you had the survey and installation. How did you find that process?
Yeah, it was great. The guys came really quickly, actually. As soon as I sort of told Chris we were happy to go ahead, they had a slot and they were down in our area, so they came kind of within a couple of days. They had Chris's brief, so they knew what we were trying to achieve. They took the measurements. I gave it a little bit of input, but yeah, they knew what we needed, and they weren't here for very long. And then I think it took about 10 weeks for the blinds to be manufactured, and ready to be installed. And yet the guys came down and they were here for a couple of hours, and they just got on with it. They knew exactly what they needed to do. Any kind of minor issues they had, they resolved them without really my input. And then they gave me a quick guide as to how to control them. It's super straightforward with the remote control, and and it was really easy.
That's great. I've got one more question, really. An important one from our perspective. Before I ask you to show off the blinds and show the other people watching this video, watching them in action. But would you recommend Window Treat to friends and family?
Yeah, definitely. I've already sent the video of them in action to a couple of people to kind of show them, what we've done and what they could be doing. But yeah, you guys have been really great. You've delivered what we needed within the time frame that you said. So yeah, we're really, really happy.
Yeah.
Oh, music to my ears. Thank you. Well, this is the moment people will be wanting to see, is that it's the blinds coming down and then going back up. So let's go for it.
Sure.
Fabulous. Very quiet as well. And it's lovely to see the screen fabrics where you got that connection with the outside. I'd like to just thank you both for sharing your experience and why you went for these blinds.
Yeah, not a problem. Pleasure to speak with you.